Hey everybody, what's up? You know, this is a bit of a video response to the Wrestling Gurus, as well as a little bit of talk about Impact this past week. First of all, let's talk about what the Wrestling Gurus had to say. I mean, earlier this week, just like a lot of people, they were expressing how happy they were with the fact that The Miz had become the WWE champion. And basically how refreshing that was and how shocking it was. And I admit I am happy The Miz is champion because like I mentioned, it is refreshing and it's new. But the topic they were talking about in the news video is how the Money in the Bank has cheapened. Basically overall, the thing about the Money in the Bank is they feel as though it's cheapened the title reigns. It's basically cheapened the WWE and World Championships by the fact that we have had cheap cash-ins, basically one or two moves and that's it, and you know, the person becomes champion. You know, excuse me. And they're tired of that. They're actually kind of tired of that. And you know, the truth is, I don't blame them for being tired or anything about it. I don't blame them for making a video about it. You know, like I said, I don't have a problem with them making a video about it. I don't. And you know, because like I said, basically they brought up some good points. Basically, what they said, like I was saying, is they feel as though the championships and the Money in the Bank itself have been cheapened and everything with these cheap, weak wins, basically. I mean, they agree with just about anybody that the only saving grace about Miz winning his championship last Monday night was the fact that they had a bit of an actual match. It wasn't Miz coming up from behind on Randy and hitting the skull-crushing finale. I mean, he tried that at the beginning, but that didn't work, and we had an actual match. A bit of an actual match, not really. But it wasn't like hit skull-crushing finale 1, 2, 3. No, it's a bit of an actual match, so that was the saving grace on it. But what they're tired of is the fact that you always have these cheap cash-ins, even if it is an actual match or not. I mean, you take a look at CM Punk. You know, all he did on Edge when he first cashed in was hit the GTS 1, 2, 3. CM Punk is world champion. You know, and the same could be said for someone like Edge. When he first did it, it took like 2 or 3 spears for him to win the title from John Cena, and then a year later 2 or 3 spears to take it from The Undertaker. You know, the only person they have actually said has been man enough to have an actual one-on-one match, despite the fact that they had help in that match to win the title, even though it was a no rules, Extreme Rules match, was Rob Van Dam. Rob Van Dam was the only one that said, hey, I'm not going to attack you from behind, I'm not going to pounce on you when you're weak, I'm going to do it as a man, I'm going to cash this in against you as a man to see who is deserving of being Mr. Money in the Bank and deserving of being the WWE champion. So that was the only one they said was actually man enough to do it. Ever since then, though, all these other champions have either had like one move, 1, 2, 3, and they're champion, while others have had a bit of an actual match, but not really, only like about a minute and a half, maybe 2, and that's it. So, and to them, they feel as though, even though that has happened recently in some cases, like with Kane and then with Miz and stuff like that, that it doesn't really help the championship or even the prestige of the Money in the Bank briefcase and match itself. I mean, they feel the same way I think myself and everybody else feels, and that is, if you're going to cash in Money in the Bank, do it one-on-one in an actual match. Don't wait until the person's weakened or anything like that. As a matter of fact, I feel that they should add the stipulation that whoever wins Money in the Bank, doesn't matter if it's the interpromotional Money in the Bank at WrestleMania, doesn't matter if it's the separate brand Money in the Bank matches at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. What they need to do is add a stipulation, and this is just my opinion, that the winner of Money in the Bank cannot cash in against a weakened champion, that they got to cash in at a pay-per-view of their choice, and that basically they can have a whole year, basically the same stipulation, have a whole year to cash in, but instead of but the stipulation I would add in is to cash it in against a champion that's 110% healthy at a pay-per-view, Raw, SmackDown, or even live event of your choice. That would be the only way you can cash it in. That way they could prove that not only are they worthy of carrying that Money in the Bank briefcase around, but also it would prove that they are ready to be in that main event spotlight. You know, but it's like I said in my 3-part video when I talked about The Miz winning the championship, just like with other Money in the Bank winners before him, like Edge, like CM Punk, like RVD, you know, it all depends on how well they pass the evaluation. That's right. To me, every time a Money in the Bank winner cashes in and becomes champion, it's evaluation time. When CM Punk cashed in for the past 2 years in a row, how long did he keep his title? About 3 to 4 months, right? To me, if you keep your championship almost 4 months, or just about 4 months, then that is proven to me that you are ready to be in the main event, that you have passed that evaluation. But if you keep your title only for a month, maybe 2, in hell, you know, the least being 2 weeks, like Edge's first reign, then that will prove that you are not ready for that main event status yet, and that you still have to work your way up. Jack Swagger's a good example of that. They took the title off him because they found out that he wasn't ready yet. He did not pass the evaluation. RVD got the title taken off of him because of his personal situation, and the fact that personal situation, you know, made him fail his evaluation test. You get what I'm saying, right? It's all about being evaluated when you have that piece of gold. So, but to me, that's what it is. But I do agree that to me, they should add the stipulation similar to Royal Rumble. I mean, Royal Rumble, like I said, right now has a stipulation that the winner of the Royal Rumble gets a title shot at WrestleMania. You don't see the winner of the Royal Rumble saying, okay, there's a weakened champion, I'm going to cash in my Royal Rumble title shot right now. You don't see that. They wait till WrestleMania. And that's what they need to do, but do it in a way to where like I said, the stipulation is have the Money in the Bank winner cash in against a healthy champion at either a Raw, SmackDown, pay-per-view, or a live event. Because it makes it more prestigious and gives the Money in the Bank match, briefcase, with the Money in the Bank winner, and even the championship they're going after, more prestige and credibility. And also, I do agree, have the Money in the Bank winner lose once in a while. You know, don't always, because, you know, I agree, anytime we see somebody win Money in the Bank, it's like, oh great, that person's going to be champion, whether we like the person or not. Whether we like that superstar or not, we always assume that once they win Money in the Bank, they're going to win the championship. I mean, what are they trying to do? Make the Money in the Bank winners' undefeated streak similar to The Undertaker's? I don't think so. So what you need to do is make it like the Royal Rumble, and the fact that even though someone can win the Royal Rumble, doesn't always mean they win the championship. Yes, the percentage shows that a majority of the winners have done that, but there's also a percentage to show that some have not. And you need, if you want to make the Money in the Bank prestigious and unpredictable, you need to kind of lean towards that percentage of people that don't succeed. And to me, that's what they need to do. That's what they need to do. I agree on that. I agree on that. I mean, even if it's someone like, say, The Miz, who's like a tweener heel, if you will, someone that's cheered and hated at the same time, someone you just love to hate and hate to love, that kind of person. Imagine the reaction he would have gotten from the fan base, how much heat, how much more credibility he could have gotten, according to many fans, if he would have not only failed in cashing the Money in the Bank, but imagine those fans chanting to him this upcoming Monday, "You went bankrupt, you went bankrupt." Imagine hearing that. That would give him more credibility and more drive to finally get another shot at the title. That's the way I look at it. But anyway, let me check my time here. But anyway, let's talk about another thing as well now. But again, those are just my thoughts on it, because I do agree with the Wrestling Gurus. But let's talk about Impact as well, TNA Impact. A.DTV mentioned this, and if you looked at TNA Wrestling's YouTube channel, you would have seen a highlight of this. It was at the end of Impact into the beginning of Reaction. Dixie Carter was hyped up as making her return, possibly, we thought, what could be just for one time only, but making her return to Impact. Well, she made her return to Impact, alright, and she did deliver an Impact, if you will, when she served Hulk Hogan injunction papers, basically stating that Hulk Hogan did not have the right to sign any of the talent that he did. So, in other words, because of what he did, the judge that obviously is on the side of Dixie Carter, the lawyers that are on the side, as well as the board of directors of TNA, have all agreed that Hulk Hogan, because of this, for the time being, is relieved of his duties. In other words, he's no longer needed. Of course, we all know this is a storyline to allow Hulk Hogan to go out and have his honeymoon and spend time with his new wife. We know that. But to me, this also is something that I pointed out. I pointed this out, remember that. I pointed this out, and I'm sure a lot of you have pointed it out as well. That the reason TNA is doing this is because TNA finally is realizing, the people, the writers, are realizing that they need to freshen this up. They need to add a twist to it. They need to make this fresh, because they're finally realizing that all they're doing is doing an NWO ripoff, and that they need something to really freshen it up and make it more interesting. And by having Dixie Carter come in and present the injunction paper or conjunction papers to Hulk Hogan and saying, "Hey, you are no longer needed right now," it makes it more interesting, because now you think, how long is this going to how long is this going to take? How long is it going to be till Hulk Hogan comes back? Does this mean Dixie Carter's back in charge in some way? What does it mean? Well, apparently, I believe what we're going to find out is Eric Bischoff's going to come out and probably say something like, "I just wanted to finish the job I started in WCW and try to put Vince McMahon out of business," or something like that. That's just my thoughts. And maybe we'll finally get an admitting, maybe we'll finally get some admittance, if you will, from Hogan and Bischoff saying that they were planning to put the title on Hogan. So, who knows? But that makes it more intriguing. It makes it fresh, it refreshes it, and makes it more intriguing with that. Because they know that if they kept going with the same thing, people were going to be tuned out, no matter what. A majority of the viewers, which are longtime wrestling fans, would have been tuned out. So, to me, this definitely makes this storyline of the Immortals and Fortune, this war for power, it's going to obviously start after Final Resolution and going into next year, makes it more intriguing and more refreshing. So we'll just have to see what happens, and that's all I'm going to say on it. Tell me what you think, but this is definitely something that makes it more intriguing and refreshing. Definitely what TNA needs, no matter what you think of the people involved. So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you all for watching, and take care.